Welcome to Leader Lifestyle Hub. As we have set the target of completing 200 book summaries in the entire year, here comes the book number 127. Name of the book that we have today is The Organized Mind, written by Daniel J. Levitin. Let us see brief information about the Daniel J. Levitin. He is an author of American-Canadian cognitive psychologist, neuroscientist, writer, musician, and record producer. And he is the author of New York Times best-selling books, including This Is Your Brain on Music. So we have seen the one of the summary called This Is Your Brain on Music earlier on the journey of 200 book summaries. Now we are seeing the Organized Mind from the same author, Daniel Joseph Levitin. So he is a neuroscientist and psychologist who works on the brain and music. So let us see what does that person, the author is revealing again in this book, The Organized Mind. Let us see the target audience of this book. The 20-year-old student who wants to be more efficient at studying in order to gain more free time. Even those who are looking for more free time in a day. Or the 35-year-old woman who struggles to balance work and family together. Or who are looking for work-life balance. And anyone feeling the day is too short to do everything that needs to be done. Let us see the small synopsis. The organized mind will show you how to adapt your mind to our modern information culture so you can work efficiently without feeling exhausted. The organized mind will show you how to adapt your mind to our modern information culture. So whatever we are leading in information age, so how to adapt our mind in this culture so you can work efficiently without feeling exhausted. That's how this book gives you the proper guidelines and tips and helpful guide. Let us hear from the author himself, Daniel J. Levitin. People who organize their time in a way that allows them to focus are not only going to get more done, but also they'll be less tired and less neurochemically depleted after doing it. Let me repeat the statement. People who organize their time in a way that allows them to focus are not only going to get more done in a day, but they'll be less tired and less neurochemically depleted after doing it. Said by Daniel J. Levitin. 30 years ago, travel agents made our reservations. Clerks helped us find what we are looking for in stores, and typists helped us with writing and correspondence. Today, we are doing ourselves the jobs once delegated to 10 different specialists while also trying to keep up with our private lives. So today, travel agents got replaced with the bus booking apps. Clerks replaced with the e-commerce apps, and the typists also replaced with the copywriters. The organized mind is not just a collection of tips to boost your productivity. With insights from science and practical examples, Daniel J. Levitin helps you understand how the human brain was evolved over time. He explains how the mind works so that you can remember things and manage your work and life without fatigue. Now, the average supermarket stocks 40,000 items while we only need 150 to satisfy 80% of our daily needs. So there is a lot of stock maintained in the supermarket. Out of them, only few of them required by the people. Need is less, supply is more. So every time we do groceries, we have to ignore at least 39,850 items and struggle to find the ones we want. This is the problem of more. In the meantime, thousands of words, images, and videos are uploaded and wait for us on the internet for every second. How can we keep up with so much information and complexity? So every second we are able to receive thousands of words, images, and videos in the media of internet. So how can we keep up with so much information and complexity? In this book, The Organized Mind, Thinking Straight in the Age of Information Overload, cognitive psychologist and neuroscientist Daniel J. Levitin suggests you give up. Give up getting as much information as you can and take a Zen approach instead. So this is the main essence. Give up getting as much as information as you can and take a Zen approach instead. Slowing down and focusing on what really matters, one thing at a time, are the keys to handle today's speed and more information, abundant information. So slow down, focus on what really matters, do one thing at a time. These are the three keys to handle the today's speed. Let us see the top 3 lessons in this book. Here are the 3 lessons about the mind from this book. As a result of over 10,000 years of evolution, the human brain cannot deal well with today's complexity. Second important lesson is keep your physical environment clean and simple, and your mind will feel the same way. If you keep your physical environment clean and simple, you will feel the same way. And let us see the third lesson. If you want to work efficiently, use external devices for organizing, remembering, and focusing on single task. Let us see how you can build what the author calls an organized mind that leads you effortlessly to good decision making. Let us see each and every lesson in detail. Let's get started. Lesson number 1. Our brains can do one thing at a time and find it hard to handle the present overload of information. Our genes have not changed much from when we are hunter-gatherers. Back then, we needed deep concentration just to survive. The human brain evolved to focus on a few inputs at a time. We can only handle the most important information in that precise moment. On any particular moment, we need only most important information. This means we focus on the things that for our ancestors would make the difference between catching and being caught. Let me repeat the statement. This means we focus on the things that for our ancestors would make the difference between catching and being caught. We also developed the ability to notice modifications around us, like things that change or suddenly move are likely to grab our attention. This is very useful to help us not get hit by flying objects or to escape car accidents, but makes it hard to live in a world that changes so fast. In fact, attention costs energy and is a limited resource. Attention costs energy and is a limited resource. Moreover, today we are bombarded with the more and more information, which forces us to make continuous choices, whether to select this or that, What should I eat? What should I wear? Where should I spend my weekend? For each question, there is a world of possibilities, all coming with countless data to analyze. The problem is the brain consumes energy to take decisions. even if they are the small decisions with no real impact on our lives. Furthermore, making choices is time consuming and distract us from what is really important. It prevents us from being present and do our best in the here and right now. So our brains can do only one thing at a time and find it hard to handle the present overload of information. So this is the basic current situation that we are all facing now. So remember that only one thing at a time. Let us move on to lesson number 2. Organize your environment the way your mind likes it, and you will avoid fatigue. To make it easier for your mind, organize your house and office to best suit your brain's approach. If you want to simplify your life, designate a place for every object and put it back in its place after using it. Like you can keep the racks with the books in certain order so that you can pick out the book whenever you want it. And you can organize your table whenever you want to see that things which are required, like notepad or pen, pencil, whatever it is. Keep it organized way so that you can pick it out and you can use it at any point of time. Marie Kondo style. So let us see what is this Marie Kondo style. The KonMari method is a simple but effective tidying method, ensuring you will never again relapse to clutter. It uses a unique selection criteria, choosing what sparks joy. You are not choosing what to discard, but rather choosing to keep only the items that speak to your heart. So whenever you have time, so let us explore the KonMari method, which is nothing but Marie Kondo style. Our brain is very good at storing locations. Our brain is good at storing locations. It has a dedicated area for that, which we can even train. Its name is the hippocampus. So the place the brain stores the location is known as hippocampus. Our mind like categories too. Means our mind likes, this is the work area, this is a living area, this is a play area. Like that, our mind also has the categories too. Levitin recommends grouping objects according to their appearance or their functionalities or their activities. Let us take an example. You can choose a place for all your pencils based on their gross appearance, or you can have a space for gray pencils and another for colored ones or fine appearance. You may also divide objects in accordance with what they are used for. For example, you might put forks, glasses, and dishes together in a particular place. There will be items that don't fit in any category or are too few to deserve their own space. Put them in a junk drawer. So keep one junk drawer. In my case, whenever I use in the file manager, I keep one folder called Chetta. So whatever the files I have to dump into the bin, I'll move all the files into the Chetta, and I will clean that junk drawer files later on. Think of it as another category. Those are not useful right now, but it might be useful in later. So uncheck what's in it from time to time. So after 1 day or 2 days, you can clean that junk drawer or junk file folder. Remember, the brain has a special alert that turns on every time something changes around you. Keep your space the same as long as you can, and your mind will be fresher. So whenever you want to have the fresh mind, organize the things surrounded by you. Let us see the last lesson, lesson number 3 from this book summary. Organizing your work means decluttering your mind and focusing on one thing at a time. So how can we cope with today's overload of information, especially when working? According to the author, the most fundamental principle of the organized mind is to shift the burden of organizing from our brains to the external world. So write down your ideas on paper or digital devices and schedule your tasks. Never keep them in your mind. So never plan your tasks in the mind. Put it on the paper or put it on the digital diary. The brain can store information, but it is not good at retrieving it. The brain can store the information, but it is not good at reviewing it or retrieving it. When we try to remember, information often comes out distorted and we don't even realize it. But most of all, we don't want to tire out our brain loading it with the data that we may put elsewhere. Do we? Most of all, we don't want to tire out our brain loading it with data that we may put elsewhere in the dustbin. Do we? Levitin also suggests you dedicate time to tasks and decisions only as much as they are worth. Analyze them each and every one and choose your next step. What is that? Drop it, do it, delegate it, or defer it. 4 steps you can take of whatever the tasks and decisions that you are going to do in a day. So drop your task or do your task, delegate or outsource task, or defer it for the future. Always use the 2-minute rule. There is a 2-minute rule. If something can be accomplished in less than a couple of minutes, do it right away. If something can be accomplished in less than a couple of minutes, do it right away. So this is called 2-minute rule. Apply this 2-minute rule in a day. To work efficiently, it is essential to do one thing at a time. Avoid distractions and interruptions. Multitasking does not even exist. When you think you are multitasking, you are actually switching very quickly from one task to another with fatigue and loss of time. Even if you don't realize, you are being less productive, and in the end, you will also feel more and more tired. So here are the tips for you to do it in today. The 2-minute rule. So one is the 2-minute rule. Find out powerful technique of the 2-minute rule into the practical application. If any task that can be accomplished in less than a couple of minutes, do it right away. And the more important thing is clean your environment surrounded by you. Avoid distractions and interruptions in your day journey. Let me repeat the 3 lessons again. So your brain can do only one thing at a time. So sorry?
Yeah, please continue.
Make sure you'll have consuming less in the world of more information. Remember the supermarket example. So supermarket have 40,000 items. That out of 40,000 items, you only need 150 items. It is hard to choose 150 from 40,000. So if there are only 200 or 300, it is easy to select the ones that you need. In the same way, every second we are bombarded with the lots of information, words, images, and videos. So take as much as you can and take a Zen approach instead. Find out the research of Marie Kondo style or KonMari style and find out the science and technology behind that. And if possible, set down all the categories in your work, in your home area, or in your digital storage, the file manager that you have. Everyone have their own file manager in the mobile or in the laptop. So clean your file manager up to date, or maintain a junk folder where all your junk files can be dumped into it, and clean the junk folder eventually. That is another technique that you can do. So organize your environment so that your mind will like it, and you will not get fatigue. So the entire thing is declutter your space and declutter your mind. Focus on one thing at a time. So follow the 2-minute rule. That is all about the book summary of the book, The Organized Mind, written by Daniel J. Levitin, who also written the book, The Power of Music, means the power of brain at music. We have seen that book summary also. In the same way, we are seeing the organized mind. He is also telling the information of brain and mind here. Again, mind in terms of brain, he told about one hippocampus, which is the dedicated area where we store about locations. So whatever you want to schedule your day, put it on paper. So put it on paper or digital diary. So that's what you can do today. See you in another book summary tomorrow. Until then, stay connected, keep progressing. I want to share one dream that I have got today morning. So there was a game that I participated, which is nothing but 3 moves and 30 seconds. 3 moves is nothing but there are a lot of people, organized people in the standing line. Like just imagine, I'm giving an example of my dream. So there are 10 people standing in the same line. So they have to move 3 steps from left leg. They have to go down for 3 times. So they are standing in different locations, and they are moving backward, and there is a wall behind them. So I also moving my left leg and keeping right leg there itself. And after moving the first step, and from there I moved another step long forward. So like that, after 3 steps, I was lying on the floor. To my left side, one person was there. Another left side, another person was there. So the 30 seconds game is all about focus first 10 seconds on myself, the second 10 seconds on the left person, and the third 10 seconds on the right side person. So when I focus on the left side person, he was biting the thread that I wore on my hand. Whereas in the right side person, when I focus on the right side person, he was busy in his work of doing focusing. So by this game, I analyzed that we have 5 states in our mind, which is nothing but the focus stage, or the comfortable stage, and the uncomfortable stage. In the comfortable, we are progressing or distracting. In the same way, in the uncomfortable, we are progressing and distracting. These are the 5 states that got strike into my mind. When the game conductor, or the person, the host of the game, asked what are the 3 lessons that you learned from the game, one person told that, so when you are moving your leg down, the 3 moves, they are telling that you need to stay on the ground, means what you call
Stay humble.
Sorry, stay grounded. So that is the first lesson they learned.
Okay.
Stay grounded means whenever you're putting down on the leg, and that you are bending down, right? So they're telling that how
Stay
far,
focused.
how far you go, you need to stay grounded. And another second lesson is you need to keep running, means whatever you move the next step, you need to keep moving instead of waiting for something. So that is the second lesson they have learned. And the third lesson is to stay balanced. Whatever the situations happen, stay balanced. So these are the 3 lessons they have learned. They shared it. I like the 3 lessons also. So in my case also, I have explained about the same, which is focused state, comfortable and uncomfortable. Uncomfortable, like when the other person is eating that, tearing that thread on my hand. So that is made me uncomfortable, but I have to keep focusing on the game of 30 seconds. So it made me thought provoking. So that is the reason I'm sharing it. So again, it is organizing your mind. So which tasks is making you more focused, or which task is making you more comfortable, or which task is making you more uncomfortable. Find out them and organize them in a day properly. Thank you so much. See you in another book summary tomorrow. Until then, stay